Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Echo Underground podcast. I'm Mike, not Shanique.
This is Shanique.
Right, and we're doing things a little weird today. Um, on this podcast, we talk about movies, TV shows, music, whatever else you find interesting on that moment, on that day, on that week. And this week, we're going to be talking about the probably the most hyped movie for Michael since Civil War, Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman, Denai Guerrera, Peter Nyong'o, bunch of other big names. Angela Bassett was in there. Listen, if you ain't hear about Black Panther yet, get your life right. Get to the theater while the seats probably still available. Because I was telling Shanique I should have taken a picture on the way out of Black Panther or like a video, like the of the movie theater that we came out of. Because like it's a pretty big AMC we came out of, but the line, I think the biggest line we saw before that was Batman versus Superman, and that was pretty impressive. But the Black Panther line pretty much blew it out of the water. But that aside, let's get into the movie here. I'll throw in the details on how to contact us at the end because Michael sucks at that stuff. So we're gonna leave that to Shanique. That's
Come
fine.
on, man.
Okay, fine. Shanique will tell go on.
Fine. You could contact us at Echo U Podcast on Twitter, and you can like, comment, and follow us there. And also, subscribe. We're everywhere at Echo Underground Podcast. Now, getting into this movie, Michael's being a butt over here. Getting into this movie, I'm gonna give this movie a solid A. Non-spoiler part. For one reason, the culture. The culture is part of the reason I give this an A. The acting was really good. The storyline made sense, and even the parts where there wasn't action, I felt like there wasn't any filler scenes. There wasn't any wasted scenes. You got a really good idea of who Black Panther was, what he meant to his heritage, and overall, for once in a very long time, I actually liked, the final battle. Because Michael, no, I've been hating on all of these final battles lately, unless it's a team up movie. But yeah, solid A for me. What do you think, Michael?
That's a solid A triple plus. It's got an S. It's got an S. Whatever that letter is above A, I get that's the one. This was excellent to me. Darn near flawless, minus a few plot points that I'm gonna like gloss over on because maybe there's something going on in the Marvel universe that I'm missing out on here. I'm gonna get into them later. They're not like super huge. I don't think I told you yet because I wanted to say it for the podcast.
Okay.
Shanique gave me a look like, what the hell is he talking about? But that's all right. I'm gonna get into those later. But I'm gonna piggyback off of Shanique real quick. I feel like the culture was handled very tastefully. I told Shanique this out of the theater, like, yo, everything was tasteful. Nothing came off like it was pushy to like make it look like black people have a chance. Like, no, this shit is something like black people can actually look to for like new black led superhero movie. And like it was great. I feel like everyone, and it's not even like it's a movie for black people. Like everyone across the board is gonna like this movie. First, get that out the way because this shit was excelente. I have nothing. Listen, this entire movie was a ride. The action scenes to me excellent. Did I already say I give it an A plus or S plus? I feel like I'm going off on a tangent here.
Where's the
I probably
S?
did. I don't know. I feel like S is like in grading scales, if they exist, they have an S above an A. So that's what this movie. This is my highest rated movie since. I mean, on this podcast. Excelente.
I thought you gave Thor the same thing.
Well, I don't give Thor an S. This movie.
Oh,
gets an
I'm
S.
sorry. He's making upgrades.
No,
so...
that exists somewhere. Okay, it gets 110 out of 100.
All right. So I guess for me, I wanted to touch on what did you think of the movie's portrayal of African culture? Even though obviously Wakanda is like
Fictional,
not real Africa, but set in a African nation.
Awfully deep question to start this off with, but that's fine because it's pretty easy. Like I said, the one word I know it sounds like a broken record here. The one word I'm going to find to describe it is tasteful because it goes with like African culture, but like futuristic as well. Like Afrofuturism was a word I see thrown around a lot, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, because they're not necessarily taking away from the actual. They're actually taking away from the actual culture. Like they kept the dances there, they kept the old school rituals there, Like everything back like about it outside the technology is still pretty much what you can find in Africa today. All they did was like put like a fast forward on timeline to show that Africa can be like a technological powerhouse, which was absolutely handled very well by characters like Shuri, Black Panther's sister. The entire idea of the whole like vibranium thing going on and how they harnessed it for like thousands of years. The way they had the tribes centered around it. I mean, I'm not saying yeah, it was in the middle of all the tribes, and the actual like power that fuels things like Captain America's shield. It's not necessarily what's the name what Wolverine has in his bones, but potentially stronger. It's literally just one of the strongest metals inside the entire Marvel universe, and their civilization thrives off of it, which makes them like absolutely amazing to look at as a technological marvel. So I feel like that was handled very well. Because a lot of times when you think about
what's
Africa,
with the rolling of the R?
because emphasis, get them back.
Emphasis.
Yes, emphasis.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
I was like, because a lot of times people think about African countries, they're like, think about it as, to quote a certain person in politics right now, a shithole. And I was like, this is a very shiny shithole, sir, because there's a lot of vibranium and shit moving around right now. So I don't know about shithole. But like, granted, it's like, listen, I'm just glad it's portrayed as not what everybody wants it to, think as it's been or already has been portrayed in movies for like, since the beginning of media, pretty much. So yeah, I thought they got handled very well as far as how they could be displayed on screen. I could talk about this for days, but I'm not going to. But go ahead, Shanique.
I know. I was like, damn, can I talk? No, I'm playing.
This is my podcast right now. I did the intro. It's my podcast.
All right. Anyway.
Podcast got hijacked.
He tripping. All right. So basically, what I thought, one thing I will agree with Michael, that betrayal of the culture was tasteful. It wasn't coonish, Yeah, people doing, they didn't make Africans look like savages.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we had a hint of that when certain people refer to them as savages, but they didn't make them look like savages. They showed them being smart.
Mm-hmm.
You got a really good taste of the actual culture from this fictional nation, and it was believable. You didn't see what is it? You didn't see that?
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Right.
Yo, Uganda Knuckles. That's disrespectful to Knuckles. Yeah. And Africa. Like, no. That's just so wrong.
It doesn't do anything any favors. I'm telling you that one right now.
It's so stupid. Anyway, going back on Black Panther. There was nothing disrespectful about it. It was very like, be proud of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Type. And I appreciated that. There's nothing that they could possibly did wrong. The next thing, let's talk about favorite character. Who is your favorite character?
See, this is rough because I have a bunch.
Okay, I'm gonna go first then because
I don't know. I gotta go. I'm gonna get my life right. Go ahead, Shanique.
All right. Since you have more than one, I'll do my top 3. So.
Oh yeah, more than one too. I thought you were gonna say favorite character.
I can do one, but since you're gonna have more than one,
I'm only gonna say one. You can narrow it down to one.
Okay, then so I'm gonna do. So she's the woman who is the general of Black Panther's, I guess, security or army. I guess. I think her name is Okoye. Yeah, General Okoye. She was badass as hell. She was very proud of her country. She was, she stood for what she believed in, and she fought. And to me, she's an example of a strong black woman, and therefore my favorite character in the movie. Even though, side note, all the black women in this movie were portrayed as very strong. Even his mom like stood her ground and was like, when it was time needed, did what she had to for her son. But General Okoye is probably my favorite new character. Even more than Black Panther. I enjoyed her the most throughout the entire movie. But he was good too. What's your number one?
My number one, I'm actually going to give it to a character who I didn't even realize was like a thing. Until actually, Shanique got me some comic books recently, so I got to do some brushing up. But a character named Shuri, who is Black Panther or T'Challa's sister. Technically the princess.
She was funny.
Now, she was one of the characters, she didn't necessarily have like fighting scene. Like she did have one at the very end. But like my thing about her is how smart she was. Like this girl is running an entire lab essentially on her own, and she's essentially like headstrong. I mean, spearheading the entire like vibranium operation under Wakanda, and it's like so impressive to me that this girl knows as much as she does, and like the relationship between her and T'Challa is pretty cute. I give it's a very interesting brother sister relationship because like it's not like submissive. It didn't become submissive because he became king or nothing like that. Like she kept it real. Like yo, you can catch these hands. I'll like she could like recorded him getting his ass kicked by his own suit apparently. Like
Spoilers.
oh, I thought are we doing spoiler alert? Yes, we're gonna have spoilers in this fucking podcast. It's a regular okay. Are we not doing spoilers?
We are. We just didn't even get there yet. But
what? We're 10 minutes into the podcast. How will we not get there? Anyway, spoilers. Let's throw it. Listen. Podcast got hijacked. Okay. Spoilers. If you need it spelled out for you, we're gonna have spoilers in this review. Go see the movie, damn it. Shit. So I can talk about this as a family, as one of my friends said. Anyways, yeah. As far as Shuri goes,
what the hell wrong with him?
As far as Shuri goes, I thought she was excellent. Like she was just pretty much like outside of the idea of like martial arts and like ass kickery, she pretty much like banked on like technology and her smarts and her wit. Like she pretty much upgraded Black Panther's suit. She had like this weird like hollow car thing or hollow plane thing where like she could like remotely control a car or airplane from her lab, and I thought that's cool as shit. She did a hell of a good job working with Black Panther on the car chase scenes in the movie.
Yep.
That's probably one of my favorite scenes with her in the movie actually.
Yeah, it's in the trailer too.
Right, yeah, that scene right, yeah, that's the one. And I'm like, this is pretty damn good. And she was a pretty good comic relief. And I was like, well, not necessarily a comic relief, but she was funny. Because she was not funny the entire time. She actually showed emotion and did pretty good acting as well. I'm not going to take that away from her just because, she was doing good being funny and smart. She was
comic relief in some scenes.
Yeah, she was excellent in her role, and that's why she's my favorite character.
All right.
I kind of want to see more of her now.
All right, we're actually going to get into the spoilers now, even though Michael started ahead of time. But we're going to talk about...
Jab.
Anyway, we're going to talk about, what did you think of Killmonger?
Wow, Killmonger is a character I never thought I'd feel bad for.
You're the only one feeling bad for him.
No,
but...
I kind of do, because I feel like T'Challa's dad, or, the current Black Panther's dad, I feel like he did kind of do... the kid dirty. Cause the kid didn't okay, I get it. The dad, he betrayed Wakanda. Understood that. But two things. Shouldn't have held that secret. Should have at least brought the kid back. Because now you just have an orphan there. And now, on top of that, because you left him an orphan.
Hold up. How is he orphan? Where's his mom?
We never got told about that. So we just got to assume. We never got told about that.
Yeah, but we never got told the mom was dead either.
Either ways, his dad got murdered by what he knows is someone from Wakanda. Either ways, he knows. Let's say, okay, fine. Let's say the mom's in the picture. That's fine. It doesn't really change shit. He knows his dad got murdered by his own people, and now he has a grudge to harbor against them because he's never been to his own place and hears all these good stories about it. All of a sudden, he got panther claws in his chest. He doesn't know that the dad betrayed him.
That's true. Even though I don't.
Even though it's kind of weird because his ideals kind of align with his dad's regardless. Unless that was in the book somewhere, I don't know. But it's I kind of about how I feel about Killmonger. I feel bad for him as a kid, having to bear that grudge growing up. But I do feel like it's a good opposite side of the spectrum to everything that Wakanda stood for. Let's say I'm called T'Challa's side, because me and Shanique ended up getting into this conversation in the car on the from the theater. It's kind of like exclusionism versus inclusionism. You mind your own business or reach out and help. And I feel like they did an excellent job putting that on the other side of the spectrum there. I thought he was kind of weird for one scene, though, where he shot his own girl. I was like, God damn, this was a savage. But yeah.
But he didn't want to help, though.
Huh?
He wanted them to conquer. That is not helping.
I'm saying help because that's what he's seeing it as, pretty much. I'm not saying help as in he's doing a good thing for the world. I get it. He is conquering. He is essentially conquering. But he's thinking help as in, he wants black people to help themselves. Going full on Malcolm X, but on a worldwide scale or some shit.
Malcolm X wouldn't even do that. But
all right, sure, go ahead, Shanique.
But here's what I thought of Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan. While there were points in the movie I did not love his acting, I thought he was fine. He had a clear motive. I understood. I mean, they didn't really explain how he met, Claw, but you kind of saw his evolution. You saw that he had a deeper plan. You saw that he was smarter than Claw. And while I understood his motives, I think his motives were, I don't know, a little bit juvenile in a weird way.
Really?
Here's why. Because there's a point you gotta grow up at some point. I understand that, they killed his father. Understood. One man killed his father, not a whole nation. That's number one. Number two, yeah, your father is dead, and but he spent his whole life killing his people, yet he wanted to help them. That kind of seems counterproductive to me. It kind of reminded me of, gang members who, pro-black, yet they shoot niggas. That doesn't make sense to me. And that was my issue with him.
He got deployed in the military. He wasn't killing his own people necessarily.
He said he killed his own people.
Some of his own, yeah, I get that. But the majority of what he's saying for as far as his killing goes, was across overseas, actually in the military.
But literally in the movie, he said, I killed a ton of my own people.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Shanique.
Yeah.
All right, okay, go ahead.
I understand you're not disagreeing with me, but that's still some point. He still killed his own people.
Okay.
And in this movie alone, he killed his girlfriend. I don't understand how, he was saying all this.
Her name, that's a crazy part.
That's true. She don't got a name in this movie. If she does, they never said it.
Yeah.
But, he had all these lines where he's like, oh, my people, and all this stuff, but he was killing them, and he was doing all this evil things, and I'm like, dude, you're not doing what you're kind of like I don't want to say oxymoron, because I feel like that's the wrong.
No, this is oxymoron.
Yeah, he's kind of an oxymoron. He's becoming part of the problem instead of part of the solution. And I'll agree with Michael. I understand what a lot of people were saying in this movie, that Wakanda should share and help and do these things to an extent, from my point. But I felt like Killmonger. I understood his motives. I understood how he got it done. And I like that he used the traditions of Wakanda against him.
Book.
Yeah, he did it by the book. He still was an ass, but he did it by the book, and I understood it. And so, therefore, he was a very good villain. I didn't question him. I didn't question his motives. I might have not agreed with his actions, and I was like, dude, you're not really doing what you're saying you're trying to do. But I definitely agree he was a really good villain. I have sympathy. Only time, actually, I said I didn't have sympathy for him. When he got dipped into this, I guess,
the trance when he got buried.
Yeah, the trance when he got buried to get the Black Panther power. Because, spoiler, he does beat T'Challa the first round of the challenge, right? Mm-hmm. When he sees his father and he cries for the first time about his dad, because apparently he didn't cry back then, that is one scene I felt bad for him. And that was the only scene I felt bad. And the guy who played his father, Sterling King, I think his name's Sterling King. I think the King I may be lying, but I know it's
Sterling Brown.
Yes, Sterling K. Brown. There you go. I was combining shit, but he was a really good actor, and I think his emotion made me, really care about that scene. So that's the only time I felt bad for Killmonger. Still thought he was completely, utterly wrong, but
he's an antagonist. We're supposed to think he's wrong.
Some antagonists, you're like, are you really wrong?
Considering a lot of the antagonists recently, they're just they're pretty simple as far as their ideals go. I want to take over the world. And then it ends there. This one's a little deeper because, it's family killing family pretty much. And I thought that was it's the old Shakespearean tale on that kind of storylines. Someone in this family kills someone in this family. Now the grudge is being harbored. Except this guy had a path to royalty if he wanted it. If he wasn't already in Wakanda. And apparently he did his research. This guy knew his shit.
He did. I think because he had his dad.
Yeah, he has his dad. Left. What's his name? His thing that he left.
That's behind, what I give him also credit for. He did his research on his culture. He prepared. When he said he prepared his whole life for it, he really prepared his whole life for this moment. So I'll give him that. He was dedicated. He was smart. I might disagree with what he was trying to do, but I definitely think he was a really good villain. I actually thought he was a threat. Because sometimes I'm like, nah, you're not really a threat. Right. But this was actually a good portrayal of villains. All right. What did you think of? Well, I guess you already touched on that, but what did you think of T'Chaka's decision?
I mean, I think it was a shitty decision. I feel like the problem could have been solved by adopting the kid back to the family, like I explained to him later. Be honest. Because I feel like this entire story would have been completely omitted if he just got adopted back to the story, like, explained when he was older, like, yo, your dad was a traitor, pretty much. And he did pull a gun on Zuri. So there was that. Like, he did not only, give out Wakandan secrets by, selling the vibranium or whatever to, like, the hood or whatever. But, like, he did pull a gun on Zuri. So, like, he did. I don't disagree with Dom T'Chaka right there. He handled business, but the way he handled it afterwards in post is kind of what was shitty. Because, like, you let the kid to just harbor a grudge and left no explanation, made no contact. It's just a kid who just doesn't know shit right now. So I feel like the problem, like I'm gonna say it one more time, adopt the kid to Wakanda, problem solved.
Would it be problem solved?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't that kid they still would have killed his father?
Yeah, no. The father had to die. I don't give a fuck. The father had to die.
But I'm saying, what if he still hold that grudge, but he was raised on Wakanda anyway?
I mean, here's the thing. He grew up in Oakland, harboring that grudge for people in the hood. Cause like, people in the hood can't defend. Like, the oxymoron we're talking about. He's getting that from the outside. He wouldn't have caught that from the inside.
Yeah, but he already had those ideals. From his dad.
Yeah, but at 10 years old, if you grew up in Wakanda after that, you had plenty of time to, like, realize what was going on. Especially after you find out when you're old enough that your dad was a traitor on top of that. Because your dad legitimately tried to kill someone. I don't think Zuri's related to them by blood, but he sure is. No, he called him Uncle James. Yeah, that's right. He is his uncle. So technically he killed his own uncle. Because he called him Uncle James, remember?
He called him Uncle James.
Yeah, he was going by James in America. He wasn't going by Zuri.
But is it okay? When he called him Uncle, right? Mm-hmm. Could have been like, oh, you're like kind of like family, so I'm gonna call you Uncle. Cause
there is that. You're probably right.
But I didn't think he was his actual uncle.
Maybe you're right, but either ways, that would have had to get been explained to him. Like, yo, your dad was giving out secrets. That this country is powerful and way beyond the rest of the world because we kept it secret. Putting it out there like that, the way he was, by like, doing it so rogue like that, without any, like, structure or whatever, that could have broke down the whole foundation of Wakanda. If things started getting copied around, or someone started getting like a trail of Wakanda or something like that. I feel like he would have had plenty of time to understand what went wrong and why he should appreciate his culture some more, because, like, he's back home where he belongs.
Okay, here's my thing. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
That's fine.
What could have also happened? Yes, they brought this kid home, but part of the reason they didn't, let's say they brought this kid home, people could have started questioning the actual royal family.
Yeah, they have to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, and that's also part of the reason they never told the truth about, what happened with his father, because the father cost the lives of a lot of Wakandans. I don't know how many Wakandans died when Claw first attacked, but many lives were lost. So if all those lives were lost, what you saw W'Kabi, he still held a grudge for what Claw did to his father.
Yeah.
So if those tribes knew that, oh, these lives were lost because of this royal family, I think it would have caused a very big issue, which is part of the reason why the father didn't bring him home. But let's say he did bring him home. Let's say he did bring the boy home. I still don't think the father would have told the public, because he wanted to protect the throne at the end of the day.
Sure.
So let's say he did bring him home, raise him, yada yada. I don't know how the fuck they would explain him, but let's say he did bring him home. He could still have that resentment because, one, his father is gone. Two, they're moving a 10-year-old boy from what he knew to a country that he's never been to. Mm-hmm. So he has to adjust to that culture. And three, he could still grow up, still hate them for killing his father, and still become Killmonger anyway. Like, he still could become that.
See,
there's a good chance he can become it, but you're also right. There's a good chance he'd be like, I understand. You killed my dad.
My dad was being a dick. Like, yeah, like if I got told today that my dad was a terrorist in his past life and he got, okay, this is kind of dark. Let's say, for example, someone found out like their dad was like a terrorist in their past life before, like, they had them or whatever, or like, during their early birth or whatever, and like, they find out, they come home, that their dad is killed. There's gonna be some part of that person who understands that, at the end of the day, your dad kind of was, I'm not using a terrorist as a strong word, but a terrorist. Like, yo, you really almost broke down the entire foundation of your own country. And on top of that, too, I feel like, one, the ideals pretty much only ended up happening. Don't get me wrong, I feel like they could be possible if he came back to Wakanda. But the ideals only mostly ended up happening because he was in America and he saw the outside perspective.
But he already saw that by the time he went home.
He saw some as a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Up to like maybe what was he like? I'll call it 10 years old probably.
Yeah, but at 10 years old, people,
I mean, sure,
or at least in gangs in ghettos.
I get that, but a 10-year-old is not going to like already have that deep engravement of like, you know, we need to do something about this by arming all black people. Don't get me wrong, a 10-year-old. Don't get me wrong. Hold on. I'm not disagreeing with you. I see what you're saying, but the odds of that, like for like an average 10-year-old, even a 10-year-old in the hood, they probably won't be thinking that. 'Cause I'm pretty sure, like, you know, he wasn't gangbanging. He wasn't trying to like, you know, protect himself with guns and nothing like that. Because his dad's Wakandan. He's probably teaching him to be peaceful.
I don't know. His dad had a gun.
Yeah, but he's probably teaching his son to be peaceful.
Okay, we just gonna ignore that his dad has a gun. Okay.
I'm not ignoring it. Oh my god. All right, fine. We can move on from that. But we're not gonna get anywhere. Go ahead. Let's talk about this.
No. Hold on.
We're 25 minutes in. Come on.
No. I have one thing I want to say.
Sure, go ahead.
When I talked about his ideals, I didn't mean the whole arm the black people thing. I meant the part where he said, "Oh, we should be helping black people."
That's still what I still mean. Like, you can still help black people and not, you know, not harbor the grudge in the way of like randomly could, like, you know, decide to challenge the king, overthrow the kingdom, and then, like, you know, expose secrets.
Yes,
the violent part of his ideal came from him growing up. That part of like his ideal, sure, that's just a humanitarian thing to think. Yeah. But like that won't make you want to like overthrow the throne and like, you know.
Yeah, partly I still think most of the point of him overthrowing the throne was just revenge. I don't think it really was.
Like I said, the revenge also would have come from America. The revenge wouldn't have come from what he already knew as a 10-year-old. It's because of what he saw growing up after his dad died, because he got left behind. If he wasn't left behind, they took responsibility. Sure, there'd still be some grudge, but probably not enough to overthrow an entire throne. Like even Wakabi, he held the grudge this entire year. He didn't act up until he was serving a new king. So if the kid never you know, harbors enough of a grudge to become king, Wakabi wouldn't have been an asshole about it. About being you know, Ulysses, what's the name, you know, attacking and killing his parents or, you know, whoever died.
Well, I thought Wakabi was already letting go faith up in T'Challa when he didn't bring Claw home.
Yeah, I agree, but like not to the point where he wanted to sort of attack him or like, you know, keep T'Challa out. There's a point where he's literally killing the guards. Remember the black ladies?
Yeah.
With fucking rhinos and shit. So it's like he wasn't that sure. T'Challa failed. At that point, the most resentment he had was disappointment. He wasn't going to straight up attack him or have his entire tribe attack him. On top of that,
see, one scene is when Killmonger first got there, and he dropped the body of Claw. So he started looking at him like, "Oh, you did what T'Challa couldn't do."
Yeah, that
was the first scene. I was like, something's not right. I knew Wakabi wouldn't stand up to Eric until his woman had to check him real quick. But I knew when Eric was like, "Oh, you know," I knew the I forgot what warriors they're called. The bald-headed warriors in this movie. Mm-hmm. When they were able to say, "No, you're not right," I knew Wakabi wouldn't do that because he was still angry that T'Challa did not kill Claw. And he also agreed with a lot of...
That's after the fact that Eric became king, though. And he's really only following King's orders. He's not going to do that if T'Challa was still king.
No, but I'm saying, like, he didn't even stand up to him, even though the women did. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Because...
For a while, like, he at least they had a point where they said no. Wakabi straight up said, "Nah, we're going to fight for this new king now." Like, they did for a small period of time.
I know that. That's literally what I'm saying. I'm saying he only did that because, in my opinion, I think he would have stood by his woman if he didn't at least somewhat agree with Eric. Because one thing he also said to T'Challa... Mm-hmm. One thing he also said to T'Challa is that you're more of the same.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
One thing he also said to T'Challa was that you're more of the same, and he didn't like that.
Yeah.
So they were planting the seed, and he kind of liked what Eric's... What is the right word? Ideology? He kind of liked the approach of what Eric was doing. So.
He didn't like Eric's ideology. He liked the fact that Eric got the job done.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's the same thing.
You just said he liked his ideology.
Every time that Eric was talking, He was doing this in the background, saying.
Alright.
I mean, he was nodding his head. Isn't that agreeing? Isn't that co-signing?
He's kissing ass because he literally just saw him bring Ulysses. Like he avenged his parents pretty much. So now he's like, all right, this is the guy I want to follow now. Like his priorities right now or is his vengeance, and that's only because listen. All right, I see what you're saying, but I don't see that. I see that still being different if he wasn't like on his way to being king, because he could agree with whatever Eric wanted to say. But he wouldn't have done that if he wasn't king. Because at the end of the day, Wakabi served the king. He's just like, full on, I don't get the king wrong. I'm going to serve the king. But then he decides, I'm going to serve my wife first. Then I'm going to serve the king. But that's,
I mean...
that's a different story.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe you're right. I don't disagree. I kind of disagree, but I still think... I saw Wakabi just following along. I didn't see him having his own mind at the end of the day.
He did.
Like his wife did.
I agree. Listen, Shanique, I'm literally agreeing with what you're saying. He would have had his own. He would have probably had a different change of heart if Killmonger wasn't king, though. Cause after he saw Ulysses, he just got fogged up. He just didn't care. Like, okay, this is the guy I want to follow now, because he validated all the anger I've had since Wakanda got attacked. Before that, he probably did, because he's never attacked T'Chaka, the one who did get his family. Well, not did get his family killed, but kind of was there when his family got killed. And T'Challa, the son of the person who got his family killed, never harbored any vengeance towards them.
Because he never saw the attack as their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he never also decided to overthrow anybody until Killmonger become king. Even when he saw, let's say the small period of time when Killmonger came and showed the body, and before the challenge, he would still be serving T'Challa, no matter what Killmonger says.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I understand what you're talking about, but I'm saying even his wife, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow the king." But when she did not agree, she said something. Mm-hmm. He never said, "Oh, I don't agree." He just stood. He just followed him along. That's all I'm saying. Okay. He didn't have his own mind, which is probably why he wasn't king. But
I mean, he also didn't challenge, so there's also that.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, he didn't challenge because he thought T'Challa would be different.
Yeah, of course.
If he knew that T'Challa was going to be like his father, he probably would have challenged. He probably would have lost, but at least he would have challenged. Mm-hmm. So, I guess that brings me to the next scene, the challenge scenes, both with Eric and both with M'Baku. They were more brutal than I thought they would be.
They're actually some of my favorite scenes in the movie. Actually,
yeah,
the scenes without the superpowers and shit. I was like, damn, Marvel did a good job here. A lot of the good scenes outside of maybe
Even though I thought T'Challa's back was broken when M'Baku was holding him tight and when
oh yeah,
because you heard a crack sound and I was like, what the hell was that? But he was like, nah, eat those.
He was giving him a bear hug with the spear he had too. So I was like, I know you feel that.
Maybe that was his ribs.
Maybe.
Because I thought his back was broken.
He also got healed from being impaled, so probably got healed his ribs too for real.
Yeah.
I remember he got stabbed with that spear.
Yeah, he did. And then I like the part where in the first challenge for T'Challa's throne was where his mother was like, show him who you are. And then he all of a sudden, he did a fucking Superman shit. And all of a sudden came back out of nowhere. You were like...
One thing I like about those scenes, well, specifically this one, in comparison to the second one, the second challenge scene didn't have the background people in there. But they made it look like an actual festive occasion to look forward to. Like the dancing they were doing on the river and on those boats and on the waterfall thing and all the chants they were doing in the background. I was like, yo, this
very
shit
beautiful.
Live. Yeah, I was like, this shit is live. It's colorful. People there were rooting for their team and they're the king that they wanted anyway. I was just like, it's an interesting way to become king. All you gotta do is kick the king's ass. But it's whatever.
I think that's a very old school. I think that's how it used to work.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I kind of figured they're pulling straight from actual, tradition from Africans from all the tribes or whatever.
I mean, yeah, could be how the comic book writer got it. Mm-hmm. I don't know who wrote those comics, but
Jack Kirby and Stan Lee definitely wrote them. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think them two came up with him back in the 60s. He came out way after Batman did, a good 30, 40 years after Batman. But even though they had nothing to do with it, but even still.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they came up with a very unique guy here. He actually came up kicking in his first issue. He kicked the Fantastic Four's ass back in the day, and I was like, "What?" That's a big deal. These are guys fighting guys like Galactus, and he kicked their ass. So like that says a lot about a guy. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Waterfall scene definitely dope. I didn't think I'd like all the action scenes without superpowers as much. I ended up being like, damn, these are the ones in the trailer. They were dope. M'Baku ended up being a pretty good character himself. I thought I wasn't gonna like him at first. Then he played his part later in the movie.
Yeah, he did. I like the challenge scenes. The only thing is, I have a issue with like Killmonger's like chest. I guess they're supposed to be like
They're brands.
I understand that. It looked fake to me. It looked like it didn't look real when I was looking at it. I was just like, I know what they were supposed to be like. It's kind of like his version of like that teardrop. You know how people get the teardrop too? Yeah. So he did that on his chest. So apparently he killed a lot of people.
Well,
but
his back is on. It was everywhere.
It was on his back.
It was all over him.
I didn't know. I thought it was just his chest and arms.
Shorts. I don't know. He had a lot of freaking kills. Like he was talking about that for a lot of the times when Ross was talking about him. Who not a lot of screen time, but you probably already missed him in Civil War like Shanique did.
I totally forgot who this guy was.
He was talking about it. He was like, "Yo, this guy is like, he's playing a video game the entire time. He's just racking up kills. Like, I'm pretty sure I just lost count if I had that many. I'm like, fuck it, yo. This guy knows his shit."
Look, that was how he prepared, man. That's how he prepared his whole life for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
And also, I thought that makeup was a little weird. It looked like he had a costume on. Because I remember the first time I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, he has like a weird like skin color costume. Then I realized that's actually his body, and I was like,
That's strange. I never got that feeling, only because like other Wakandans had that too. Like the Wakabi had those on his face. Like he had some kill, but he didn't have as much as
That was like white makeup.
No, he had the little bumps on his face too. The brands. If you go to him right now, he'll have them on his face.
Yeah, but that's still makeup, right? It's white.
Yeah. No, white.
Yeah, it's white.
It probably got covered with something white, but they're actually the bumps are still on his face though. I don't know what you're talking about here.
The white makeup across his face like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about it?
That's what you were talking about, right?
I don't remember it being white, or maybe it was.
I can pull up a picture.
I'm talking about specifically the brand, not the actual color of whatever it was.
I thought that was just part of his tribe. I didn't know that was like brands.
No, remember he's on the border protecting the Wakanda.
Yeah, but how do you know that's brands from kills?
That's what they said they were. Every one of those brands is a kill. That's one part of Wakandan tradition.
How come T'Challa doesn't have them?
Maybe he's never killed anyone. Because remember, before he became like Black Panther, he was just like a smart ass guy. Like T'Challa's like a scientist, engineer, multi-billionaire, whatever. Like he wasn't really like a warrior. His dad was doing all the warrior shit because he was the Black Panther. Until he became Black Panther, I don't really think he's been killing anyone per se.
But don't they all go? That's going too far.
But here's my thing though. One gripe I did have at the beginning of the podcast I want to talk about. Man, this is gonna be a long podcast. But I'm a little worried about the timeline of the ritual for becoming Black Panther. Because I'm like, in Civil War, he already had the Black Panther powers without going through the ritual.
I think he only took the mantle because his dad was old.
No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, but he also had the powers and the suit. You only wear that after you become king.
Not in this universe, you don't do that.
They said that in this universe. That's what I'm talking about. They said, yo, you get the mantle of Black Panther and the title of king when you do the ritual challenge or whatever it is. And he had that in Civil War. So how comes he already ate the heart-shaped herb in Civil War and then had to do it again for this movie, apparently?
Well, like I said, I thought he stepped up to be Black Panther because his dad was too old to do it.
Maybe that might have been it too, for real. Who knows? I mean, they never explicitly said. That's why I'm questioning it. Because you could be right. I'm just saying it never got explicitly said. Because your explanation would make perfect sense. I just need Marvel to say it now for everyone who isn't asking that question to understand what it is.
Yeah, I didn't know it had to be king. I didn't know you had to be king. Maybe for Eric because he was an outsider, but I didn't know. I just thought it was like a royal family thing. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe he went through trials. I don't particularly care why he's Black Panther in Civil War, but I never really thought about it. What's your other gripe? You said you had more than one.
I did. Let me see here. What the hell was it now? I think it might have just been the thing with Killmonger. Yeah, I think we already talked about that for like 20 minutes. But like, it was like, yeah, you could just adopted the kid and solve the whole problem. But we already got into that for like a good minute. So I think that was my other gripe actually.
Okay. Um. So anyway, I guess we could talk about what do you think of T'Challa as king?
T'Challa as King is considering how the movie ended, it's going to be a pretty good one. Like he had some good character development. Because he realized, yo, the Black Panthers before me might have been doing some shady shit. It's time to forge my own way. Because I feel like he might have handled the situation with Killmonger's dad a little bit differently, considering how mad he got at his dad. But he might have been mad because he got his ass kicked. But I ain't gonna tell.
Well, I think he was very upset before he got his ass kicked because he found out before. So I think you're probably right. I think he would have handled it differently. Whether it would have been the right decision, we'll never know.
Right.
We will never know. I think he's gonna be a good king. No one else can, spoiler, no one else can technically be Black Panther unless they go to the Pentagon, I guess.
Yeah, right, we're talking about that too. The Hardship Herb Garden was
burned, deleted. Like a computer program, delete. But yeah,
she spelled it out.
Delete. Yeah, now the garden's gone, so no one else can actually be Black Panther. I don't know how that works in the comics or anything like that, but it's interesting. I don't know how they're gonna pass it on because T'Challa's not gonna be young forever, so I don't know how they're gonna pass it on at all. But like I said, no, trip to the Pentagon, if that's a true story, trip to the Pentagon. Be like,
hey, they can take a trip to the plane to see their previous ancestors. So I feel like a Panther God wouldn't be completely out the realm of possibility. And you're the one who told me that too. So I'm like, you know what, you're right.
That's what they said in the beginning of the movie. They went,
you're right, you're right. But I'm just saying that they never. They showed the whole ghost past thing, but they never showed Bost herself. But I don't think we need to get.
Do you want to see a giant panther?
Hell yeah, that'd be cool as shit.
This is not Rampage, okay? We don't want giant animals.
Cool as shit. That panther gives out fucking powers. You can I don't even know the extent of Black Panther's powers. That's the crazy part. Like we know, apparently he can see in the dark. He's really sneaky, super strong, super athletic. He can jump really far. He got Spider-Man instincts or some shit.
See, I thought he has all the strength of a panther enhanced in him. That's what I thought his powers were, but maybe there's more to it than that.
I mean, yeah, there's also that, but there's also the suit giving him different abilities too. The whole shock absorption thing was pretty cool. Because, like Shanique said, this movie had a pretty good end fight where, that got showed off a whole lot.
Do you count the suit as part of his powers, though?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of his powers come from, it's kind of like, you won't say Batman has power, but his suit gives him, a lot of abilities because, the technology he puts into it. The whole, I feel like if he wasn't wearing a suit, he'd probably still get shot,
I mean, yeah.
Panther powers and all, he'd probably still get shot. But, the suit absorbs shock. It gives him the claws. It's made of adamantium. Sorry, not adamantium, vibranium. Wrong Marvel metal. But yeah, something along those kind of, those kind of things, pretty much.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't count his suit, but I do agree with you. His suit does
it gives some other abilities.
Yeah, it does give him a significant advantage, or he would have been dead throughout most of this movie. So I guess the final thing I want to talk about is the ending fight with Killmonger and Black Panther. What do you think of it?
I thought it was pretty well done because considering it's a rematch, considering T'Challa got his ass kicked already, there was already hype behind it, and now Killmonger has his own suit, which he apparently completely mastered within minutes. But he had the golden suit, which in the comics I believe was he was called Jaguar or something. I could be wrong. Forget that. I'll make that last part. But I know there was another one.
Making a facts here.
I know there was another one called Jaguar, and I figured that's who he was going for. But I thought that suit was not the suit, but that fight was pretty well done. Everything from the little mini war that broke out to them fighting underground in the mines or whatever. I think everything was well choreographed. They're using wit instead of just raw power to fight each other, which I thought was pretty good. I love fights that do that. You got to use your brain. Cause there's this whole thing with the vibranium sonic wave boosters or whatever the hell they're called. It pretty much interacts with vibranium and weakens it, so it can be properly mined on the ground. Shuri explained it. I'm not doing it very well. Go watch the movie. But yeah, it was pretty well done because they had that factor fighting along with them, and Killmonger's a good fighter. This guy has been killing people. a
Hence
lot
his
of people.
name.
He has experience. So like he's a really good fighter, but like it kind of got escalated a little bit now that they're both wearing suits, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you about this is one of the best like climactic like end fights because normally it's like some fuck shit sometimes with Marvel, but this one was actually really good. It was very well choreographed. My only gripe is he took too damn long to die. Like I was just like, you technically would be dead, and I don't understand how he died. Where did he get stabbed that made him die?
No, he got stabbed in the heart, but like I feel like
It looked hella low, so I was
yeah,
like,
I mean it was in his heart, but like the thing is, he took a long time to die because he wasn't bleeding. They didn't show it on TV, obviously, on the movie screen, obviously, because there'd be a lot of blood. But essentially, when he only died quick when he pulled the thing out, because then he started bleeding a lot faster. Like even though that thing was in his chest, it's keeping him alive only because he's not like bleeding out. But he died slowly if he left it in. But like he left it in there just long enough for him to see the whole sunset thing.
yeah, that was a little too cheesy for me.
I like that, and here's why: because it ended on something hella powerful. It was like, yo, I'd rather die than live a life of bondage. Cause like, that's really where that's really spelling out his whole ideal right there. Cause like he's pretty much like thinking all the black people around the world are being oppressed. Like we talked about his ideals earlier, and I was like, that's literally like a strong ass ideal to live by when he said that to me. I don't know, he said it on screen.
Oh, he said it to Michael.
Me personally, he was looking at me in the theater full of like 300 people. He looked at me, Shanique.
Okay, here's my thing. I understand that line was supposed to be like, yes, brother, and powerful, but it was delivered so cheesy though. It was
I don't
like
think it was. That's fine.
he was like, yo, I'd rather die than be in bondage like my sisters and brothers, and then he died, and I was like, I get the point.
And they could have saved him. Well, yeah, like the Ross got shot in the spine. He got saved.
No, that's what T'Challa said, but he literally like, no,
right, yeah.
So you can lock me
in jail, right?
So I understand the point. Delivery was garbage, but I understand the imagery and the whole idea of why he said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like certain quotes like that, I thought were a little heavy-handed, but needed to be said at the same time. And like I said, I had no problem with him as villain. I understood him to the very end, but I was very much glad he was dead. No tears from me.
I mean, no tears for really anybody. But I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I feel sympathetic for the guy. I ain't about to cry for the shit. But like, yeah, it's.
I feel sympathetic for little Eric.
In my opinion, he's one of Marvel's best handled villains in recent years. Probably the next one, in my opinion, probably would have been Loki, and that's probably the next best villain to me. Who else would have been good?
I say Loki in like Avengers. After that, he was kind of a joke.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, back when he mattered, right? Yeah. Like right now, he's kind of like a sidekick to whatever's going on with him still in the Tesseract or whatever. And who else would have been a good comparison? Maybe Bucky to some extent. If back when he was being mind controlled, I guess. But like not even he's being mind controlled, so I can't really count that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Killmonger, as far as like a character goes, like as far as ideals, is the reason why he's an antagonist. This is probably Marvel's deepest dive into that, in my opinion. Because I feel like this dude had an ideal, and it's kind of a tragic story on top of that. Like your dad got killed by your own people, and you kind of got abandoned. And now you're harboring hate for them over all these years. So I'm like, you know what? I don't think any other character went that deep yet. And Loki, I'm saying him because he kind of has a similar story. Like he got adopted. He's a frost giant thing. The brother got all the glory.
Loki's a little bitch, but anyway. No, I'm playing.
Random as fuck. What the fuck, yo?
Loki's a little bitch.
In your heart.
I don't give a shit about Loki. Good actor though. Don't give a shit about him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. In credits. The first one is
the Bugatti spaceship.
Is that the first one? I thought that was the last one.
No.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. The first one, basically, T'Challa was like, "Hey, I want to talk to United Nations. We want to share. We feel like we can offer you guys,
or sciences, or
our technology, our knowledge, yada. Share the wealth, right?" And then he opened up like a science center,
Wakanda Outreach Center or some shit.
Yeah, in the middle, at the same place where his uncle was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a very cute scene. Like I said, I do like his little sister. So I like that she was showing them the ship. I don't know if I would have started with the ship automatically, but I thought it was really cute. And he got his girl at the end too. What is her name? Nakia?
Yeah.
He got Nakia, and she's gonna do her outreach, so he gets to keep her.
He never freeze.
He froze. He froze
they roll a lot of R's in this movie, by the way. I'm sorry, this is real random, but they roll. Don't get me wrong. I know they're going for the African accent, but they roll a lot of their R's in this movie.
Look, it's a fake.
Never freeze.
Okay.
It's like, damn.
There's a fake African nation. They can roll the many R's that they want.
You're probably right. Let me stop.
Uganda did not exist.
Let me stop.
There is no accent. Everyone in this movie had a different African accent, but maybe because there's multiple tribes, you can get over it.
Did he freeze?
He froze like a deer.
An antelope in headlights.
Antelope. Why is it antelope? I guess that's the only type of version of a deer.
Yeah.
A little stereotypical, but yeah, I understand. But yeah, I thought that first scene was cute, and then the second scene was basically a hint at Infinity War, and you see Bucky wake up.
Yep, the White Wolf.
Yep, they kept calling him the White Wolf.
He didn't have his arm, but I'm assuming at this point he's gonna get like a vibranium arm, which is gonna be dope as shit.
Yeah, I know.
We already see the trailer anyway, so
yeah,
we know.
Low key, all the like white people jokes were funny. Like when
Or you sure we call him the colonizer? Stop moving, colonizer.
You scared me, colonizer.
That was hell. I'm sorry. I know this is like child to be laughing because it was like a racist jab, but I don't give a fuck. That was funny as shit.
Yo, and he's like, "Oh, another white boy for me to fix."
Right, exactly right. That was sure is funny, and I thought those jokes were funny too.
I know. She's like,
it's funny too because I was sitting next to. I'm glad they had a good sense of humor, but I was sitting next to a white couple in the theater, and they enjoyed all the jokes. They went along with it, and they were like really good sports about the movie too. So I'm like, you know what? It's not like I didn't expect that anyway, but I just thought those jokes right there would have been a little on the nose for them, but they found it funny, and I was like, yes, good. You have a sense of humor. Thank you.
Yeah, like that shit was hella funny. And there was something else. She said, I thought there was something else, but I kind of forgot the joke. But yeah, I think all those type of jokes were funny. Oh yeah, the Coachella one. She's like, when you're taking me to California, I thought you meant Coachella, not this. Right. And I was like,
to Oakland, it's different.
Yeah, that's whack.
Oakland, the hood.
I know the hood. Like, not even if that was your first impression of California, you probably want to go back.
Like, fuck this noise.
Can I take my jet back?
Return ticket, please.
But anyway, I thought that was funny. So what do you think of the end credit scenes?
I thought they were cool. Like, I knew Bucky was there. We just didn't know what they were doing with him. I thought he'd be in like a hospital or something like that. They had him in they had him outside.
I think part of the reason is to stow him away.
Yeah, I know. I figured as much, but
so they wouldn't lead them back to like the mine and stuff.
I mean, here's my thing. The entire country's hidden anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Either ways.
No, the country's not hidden.
Yeah, it is. It's stealthed. Remember they flew
no, the city, but like the border. Anyone get to the border, which is the beginning of Wakanda.
I know, but is that where he was? Was he inside of Wakanda still? Because they never explained that exactly. Like, we don't know that.
I know, but we saw like Wakabi and them. They were like living on the farm and stuff. Everyone could find that.
Well, maybe, but like I said, we still don't know if technically that part where we saw Bucky was inside or outside of Wakanda. Yeah. Or at least the invisible part of Wakanda, should I say?
Yeah, the city, basically.
Not the part of the new season that they said, oh, it's full of shepherds and farmers. And
shit. They don't show like the real Wakanda.
Oh man, there's so much we could have talked about this week. We ain't getting to the soundtrack. We ain't getting to like other characters and shit. Like, there's so much.
The soundtrack though remind me a little bit like it was OD African. Like, there was some points you just heard like African screams or something.
I'm okay with that.
No, I was fine with it. Even though there was one song I was like, yo, you're screaming a little too much for me. But I thought it was really good.
Never had that problem. I love every last little scream they had. Scream to the top of your lungs.
Ah! No, I'm playing. Wash your headphones.
Right.
But I thought the soundtrack was good. The scenery was really good.
Beautiful.
It actually looked real. I know a lot of it was not real, but it actually looked really real. So I thought that was good. And I don't know. I think we covered, for the most part, the movie. Did we miss something? Did you want to talk about?
I mean, the only thing we're not talking about is like, individual scenes, but I don't think we need to do that.
I think we hit like the main important ones, though.
I mean, this entire will be important to me, but that's fine. As I say, raising my nose in the air.
Yo, like what is happening over here?
I'm calling it right now. It's my movie of 2018 until Infinity War comes out, or maybe is Wonder Woman 2 this year?
No, that's
It's
next year.
Flash is this year though.
No, next year.
Aquaman
Only
this year.
yes, but we're not gonna end up doing that because Aquaman comes on the 21st.
Yeah, right. God damn it, DC.
So DC needs time.
I know.
They're filming. Shazam is next year though.
I know.
I'm ready for Shazam.
I'm just anxious. That's all.
I am ready for Shazam. I'm ready for Venom.
Hell yeah.
I want to see
Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm kind of hyped for that. They did a damn good job with the first Ant-Man, so I'm like interested to see what they do with
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2. You're right.
Non-comic book though. I'm ready for A Quiet Place. I want to see that movie. 100%.
Yep.
It actually that required very good facial expressions. Otherwise, it's gonna be like, nigga, I don't believe you.
One thing I hope is that the cool parts aren't all in the trailer, because some horror movies do that. Where like,
yeah,
okay, the movie's about being quiet, but like if you handle it, if like a good artistic direction, you can have the whole movie be mute and have only like a few sound scenes, like jump scares or whatever. But like I feel like at some point they're gonna be like, okay, fuck it, we can start making noise now, and then like the whole gist of the movie might be gone at that point.
Yeah, that's a good example of that is Dunkirk. No fucking voices in that movie.
Yeah, right. I mean, very rare, very rare.
Very rare. Like you could probably blink and you'll miss someone talking.
Mm.
I think the lead never spoke really.
I mean, he spoke, but just very seldom.
And that movie was able to carry your attention without actually just use imagery and facial expressions. Right, yeah. So it's possible, especially in a horror movie, someone's trying to kill you. So it's very.
I don't think that's someone in this movie.
I know. Hey, you might be.
You never know. You damn right.
You never know. But yeah, there's a lot of movies I'm excited for. Tomb Raider, Ready Player One.
Yep.
So I'm all interested in those, and there might be some surprises. It'll be like, even though I was interested in Red Sparrow until I realized what type of movie it was, and I'm like, nah, bro. But that's just me.
I feel like if Black Widow had a movie, it'd be something along the lines of Red Sparrow.
I hope it's not as sexual, though.
I mean, well, yeah.
Way less sexual.
Disney wouldn't allow that in the first place. But yeah, I agree. But I assume it had like, what I imagine in my head, minus that what you just said, you were right. I feel like Black Widow might have been something like that. Females got trained to do this. They got trained to infiltrate either female wiles. And they're pretty much like the main badasses of the movie. Which is one thing about this movie I also like. The badasses were all black females. Hold it down. Cocoa butter power, son. Okay, I'm being cool right now. But I'm being cool right now. But that's fine. Listen, man. I'm extremely proud of this movie, yo. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
we haven't had like a real ass like black ass superhero. Like this one is an organic black. Like you're from Africa. Like you were as black as it's gonna get. And I'm like, yo, you got handled so well on screen that I'm like, I don't even know what to compare you to now. You're your own standard. So that's really damn good on this movie's part.
Yeah. And I like that people dressed up in African attire. We didn't do it, but I did like, either African attire or they wore shirts that like, think like Martin, think like Malcolm X. I saw that type of stuff.
Right.
Really Black Panther, like the group type shirts. And I thought that was really cool as well. But I think we're going to close out this podcast. So, guys, let us know what you guys think of Black Panther. Do you like it like us or love it like Michael?
Excelente.
Excelente, even though that's not African. And he's giving me side eye.
She's just full of like jabs today.
I'm not.
I just woke up.
No, you didn't. Anyway, he did not just wake up. He's lying. Going back to closing out the podcast. Tweet at us at Echo U Podcast to let us know what you think about this movie. Share this review as well. Now, this review has spoilers. If you're at this point, you probably know that, but just putting that out anyway.
As she says at the end of the review.
I know, right? And also, you can find us at Echo Underground Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, and any other podcasting apps. And we'll see you guys next episode. Bye.
See ya.